Kia ora, TikTok family. I'm going to tell you guys about this dream that I had. I had this April 8th. Today is April 13th. But in this dream, I seen this old ancestor indigenous man. He was holding a pipe. He was holding a pipe in his hands. And he looks at me and he tells me to come, and he takes me into the bush. Takes me to the biggest tree in the bush. He looks at me and he looks at his pipe. He tells me to sit down with him right beside that tree. Looks at me and tells me to close my eyes, telling me he wants to show me something. He wants to show me what people are doing. He says, I want you to see this. So we sit there and I close my eyes. And then he looks at me, he taps me on the shoulder and he tells me to smoke from that pipe. So I smoke from that pipe. And then he tells me to blow it towards that tree. So I blow it towards that tree. And then he tells me to close my eyes again. And then right after that, it was weird. It was like a part of me, like my spirit, my soul, went into that tree. It went into that tree. Next thing I notice, I'm like this ball of light. And I'm going through all of the roots in the tree. I'm going down and I'm going through all these roots. And I'm going through the biggest roots. And I see where all these roots go. As I'm down there, I'm looking around, I see all these roots. And I'm seeing a lot of different things. But I'm traveling through all these roots really fast. And I look beside me and there's another ball of light following me. And I knew that was him. And that was our ancestor following me, and they're guiding me. But we're going through all these, different routes that go so many different directions. But we keep going together. And then out of nowhere, we stop. And then I can hear this voice. And I knew it was our ancestor there following me. I can hear his voice. And he tells me to take a good look. And I see a lot of people. They're all laughing. They're enjoying themselves. And I look, and there's all these homes, a bunch of homes underneath us. A bunch of homes, and all these people they're driving down there. They're living like how they live up here. And they're just laughing. They're watching TV. I remember we went into this house. And people were like watching TV like we would watch TV up here. They were laughing. They were looking at what was going on in the world. Like they were looking at what's going on up here. And they're all laughing, and you can hear them. They're just laughing, and they're so stupid. That's what they keep saying. They're so stupid. He goes, wonder what's going to happen to them next. They keep saying that, and they're laughing. And we start traveling down these routes again, and we start going to this other area. And then out of nowhere, we stop. And you can see all this water. And we're going deeper down. And out of nowhere, we see all these people again. And there's this big machine. There's this really big machine. He tells me to look at this machine. And he tells me what it's controlling. He says that's what controls the people. He says, what you're seeing up there, everything is man-made, he says. The weather's fake. He says the clouds are fake. He says everything is an illusion. And we start traveling again. And we go right back into these roots again. We start going through the roots. He tells me to look around. Look around. Everything you see here, they're saving themselves. Everybody down here is not sick. Everybody is fine. They're well and fine, he says. But everybody up there is going to get sick. He goes, they're going to pollute the air. He goes, keep an eye on the sky. And he goes, those planes that fly around, they're dropping sickness. They're dropping sickness. Everybody has a sickness with them, and everybody is already carrying that sickness. And he goes, it's just a matter of time. He goes, even children are carrying that sickness because you guys walk around it every day. He goes, but everything that you see around you, he goes, you're going to see things. You're going to see fires. He goes, and it won't be made by anyone but them. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? By them, what do you mean by them? And he said, they have so much technology. You guys all got to wake up and see it. He goes, everybody is controlled already. As you walk, you're controlled already, he said. And I looked at him and I said, how are we controlled? How are we controlled already? And he goes, your technology, everything you watch, you're not looking at what's going on. None of you guys are looking at what's going on. You guys are too busy looking at your technology. You're not paying attention to the sky. You're not paying attention to what's around you guys. He goes, that's how they have you guys. And he looks at me and he goes, you guys are like walking zombies. You believe what you see on TV because that's what they want you to believe, he said. Tell people that. Tell people that, he goes. You guys can all come together and speak your truths. Protect one another, he said. I told you before that tough times were coming. He said they're already here. Things are just going to get worse. Everybody that is paying attention to nothing when they should be paying attention to something, not your technology, he said. Look to the sky. Look all around you. He goes, these storms are being man-made. He goes, because they're playing Xemanto, he said. He said in our language, he said, they're playing God in our language, the Creator. They're making everything, he said. Everything was once natural. Now everything is not. Everything is fake. He goes, I want you to watch everything you do. You guys are always being watched, he said. When you look at a TV, you're being watched, he said. When you look at that phone, you're being watched. Cameras everywhere, all technology. It's time to go back to the old way. We used to know how to hunt. We used to know how to fish, he starts saying. We knew how to take care of our lands. It's still in us, he said. But you guys need to start showing the younger generation this. This is what they have to do, he said. Understand. He goes, you guys know how to survive. All of you know how to survive. He goes, I'm one of your ancestors. I'm telling you. I'm warning you. There's a lot of fake things going on around and you guys got to wake up and see it. They're trying to take us out, he says, because they know we're connected to the land. And we went back to those roots, and I ended up back where that tree was. And that's how I woke up when I came back, sitting by that tree. That was my dream.